All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday night here, a little bit after 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, but that means it's another episode of Unapologetic with Chet and Duffy. This week, Super Bowl recap talk, but joining here on the show tonight with me and Duffy once again is Zach Drapo, host of the MMA podcast here on Fans Only Sports Network. Zach, it's like you're becoming a regular member of the show at this point, dude.
We should just rename the show at this point.
But yeah, so to hop into the topic going forward, really, with the Super Bowl, there was a lot of hype going into the game. You had the Cinderella story out of the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow, but then you had the Los Angeles Rams, a juggernaut of a football team that was really favored from the start of the season. And in fact, the victors at the end of this one, taking down the Cincinnati Bengals 23-20 in a thrilling end to the Super Bowl. It was quite a game, but before we really start to get into the meat and potatoes, guys, let's hear some thoughts, like some initial thoughts from the outcome here.
Well, my first thought that I have to say is this hit, like I said, that was a lock. Bengals +5 wasn't even a lock. I got it at 4.5.
Throw that back in there for everybody to really soak in.
I'm sure they all need to see I told everyone before the show, or last week before Super Bowl, that this was the biggest lock, and it was. Bengals, they're going to keep it close. We haven't had a close Super Bowl final score-wise in like 5 years almost. So this one was bound to be close from the beginning. Two solid teams. I'm surprised the Bengals stayed as long as they did. And sure, they did have the very questionable call on that 75-yard touchdown at the end of the third quarter with that no face mask on T. Higgins. But they kept it. They stayed in there for a long time. And the defense played very solid for the entire game, really holding the Rams to 23 points the entire game. And, I'll give them credit. They're going to be back next year, but the Rams, they deserve this ring. I knew they were going to get this. I said Rams by 3 last week. I told everybody last week Rams by 3. Mm-hmm. It's a close game. And, I'm not surprised with the outcome, though, because I predicted it.
That missed pass interference call right to start the second half was so huge, not only for momentum, but I think it just kind of shook everybody because you had the halftime show. The Bengals obviously got fired up from seeing Eminem and Dre and Snoop and everything. And then right out of the gate, 2 plays, you got 75-yard bomb and then a pick. That leads to another field goal, and they go up by, I think, 7 at that point. Mm-hmm. And it's so crazy that momentum was so spontaneous. And as soon as that 7-point or 10-point swing was over, the Bengals didn't have really anything in the second half. Not to say that the Rams did either. It was a pretty sluggish second half. But the Bengals didn't do anything after that. And I think a huge part of it, like we've seen online and on memes and everything, is the O-line of the Bengals. That has to be really one of their only positional needs this offseason. You can do a little bit with the secondary, but if you got to draft 7 O-linemen and sign another one to help Joe Burrow, that's what you do for the Bengals. Because besides that, they're a pretty solid team.
Yeah. And looking at the stat line from that evening, you could see in terms of Joe Burrow, sacked 7 times in that game, losing 43 yards in the process of those sacks. And that was really something that I stressed going into this game is if this Rams front 7 can get that pressure on Joe Burrow, they're going to win this game. And come second half, once that halftime show ended, the O-line just became nothing but paper, just falling over easily for this Rams front 7 to really collapse in on. However, when you look at the Rams, going into this one, they did lead at one. They were up in this one early, 7-0, off a touchdown to Odell Beckham. We saw that offense's energy really have the life sucked out of it when Odell went down with that knee injury.
Odell Beckham first touchtown, baby.
Yeah, it did. That shit hit.
Plus 1,000, baby. That shit hashed. I told you all last week.
Oh my God! But
that was one of my biggest bets, actually. I don't know if we're gonna get into that later, but that one saved me. I put like 4 units on the game in total, but I had $40 on Odell, so I'll take that. Cover my expense.
All right.
Okay. So kind of looking at this, you were saying
that was basically it. That was basically it for the bets that I hit.
Okay.
I had half a unit, bro, $150. I was like, yes, sir. Let's go, baby.
Something that was really surprising, though, in this one is the Rams were known throughout the whole season as a running back by committee. That night, the run game did virtually nothing. On 23 carries by the offense total, we only saw a production of 43 rushing yards compared to the 20 carries of the Cincinnati Bengals for 79 yards. 15 of those carries and 72 of those yards went to Joe Mixon on that day. So it was really interesting to finally see this Bengals rushing attack get up and moving in this game, guys, as opposed to a pretty productive Rams run offense throughout the whole postseason. And that's really what kept the Bengals in this game for me, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, the Bengals defense did a great job, bending but not breaking for the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, only allowed 23 points, but, really contained the run. Didn't really see a lot of Sonny Michel or Cam Akers for a lot of the game, really do anything much. And when Odell Beckham Jr. went out, that was obviously huge for them too. But, at the end of the day, they just couldn't do enough. They couldn't stop on the final drive. When you let up a 15-play drive in the fourth quarter, it goes, 5-6 minutes to end the game. You're not going to win a lot of games like that. And unfortunately for the Bengals, it cost them the Super Bowl. But, like Zach said earlier, when you flip back to that Bengals offense, after that pick, early second half, the field goal to make it a 7-point cushion, 20-13, couldn't do anything after that, the Bengals. We saw multiple third down sacks. Saw a 2nd and 9 sack. Became like a 2nd and 20 or 3rd and 20. Mm-hmm. I mean, just big plays after big plays by this Rams defense is what really won them the game. I mean, the Rams defense, outperformed the offense by a lot, in my opinion, this game, despite the offense going on the field and winning the game at the end of it. But the whole Joe Burrow and the Bengals to 20 points, that offense that was averaging not a lot of points this postseason, but winning games and striking effectively game in and game out.
Yeah.
Getting 7 sacks, 16 sacks in 2 games this postseason combined by the Bengals allowed. I think they had it was something like 20 for the postseason, 21,
mm-hmm.
the most ever in postseason history. So, like Zach was saying, you got to draft 7 offensive linemen and sign another one. That might be a little hyperbolic because I don't think anything
maybe a bit.
But
yeah, you'll probably see some free agents get signed here and there, and then definitely some young guys from the draft class. Because I'm sure there's going to be some good O linemen out there in this draft this year.
But the Bengals are in a good position because there was a lot of hate last year for them picking Jamar Chase and not Penei Sewell. And now you can get the best of both worlds. Like you made the Super Bowl, you didn't win it, and that would have been way more convenient for the Bengals in the future. But you made Super Bowl, you make the right pick, and now definitively, hey, this offensive line does need a lot of help.
Yeah.
And our quarterback made it through his first full season, and because he took some scary hits, Burrow, this past season. So you want to keep him protected, and the offensive line really got to work on that. And I think with the better line, they could have won the game. Simple as that. They should have won that game. If we're gonna be honest,
the Bengals
should have. The Bengals
should have won that game. They should have won that game. They should have been up 4. They had They had a 4 to 7 point cushion for pretty much the entire second half.
Yep. Yeah, I guess that would bring me. I guess that would bring me to my next question. Really, that would have came later, but since you guys are really kind of pushing towards it right now, it would definitely have to be that last drive by the Rams. Matt Stafford moving into the red zone, having 4 flags get thrown on the same area in the red zone. And, I mean, even our own company CEO and boss, Ron Roberts, had to say in our group chat that night, the refs won the Super Bowl for the Rams. And, I mean, what's your guys' take? Because for me, it's kind of a little it's 50-50 on if this really gave the Lombardi trophy to Los Angeles.
I think the Rams would have scored anyway. I think that those calls were definitely a bit exaggerated, especially the one Cooper Kupp coming through the middle. I can't remember the defender that it was, but it was within 5 yards of this line of scrimmage, and he was just barely touching him. That call, that was blown out of proportion. But either way, I see the Rams scoring right there. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. I get that they get a new set of downs, but when you got Cooper Kupp in the end zone, you know what's happening next. I think that drive in its entirety shouldn't be overlooked by the penalties at the end, because that whole drive, 80 yards in the last 5 minutes of the game by Matthew Stafford. Cooper Kupp gets, I think, 4 catches and seals the deal. That is why you go out and get these guys like Matt Stafford to win you these games. He did just that.
Yeah.
And I think the referees were pretty bad throughout the entire second half. I don't know. There was one call right at the end of the game, the last play of the Bengals, when they were 4th down and Burrow had to get rid of it, but Donald almost sacked him. And Aaron Donald was clearly offsides, and the refs didn't call it for that either, which would have gave him a first down. Or at least a much shorter fourth.
He is the NFL's golden boy, so.
Yeah.
And he hasn't retired yet, but that could be coming soon.
Yeah, and that's a thing that I kind of wanted to really say in that chat that night, which was, I mean, I think the Rams are going to score regardless in that situation. I really think they were too close to that point to Tim. I mean, Duffy, I really don't know about like if this Bengals defense was going to bend but not break in this situation. I really think what we saw out of the route running out of Cooper Kupp was they were going to get in the end zone no matter what. I really think that was just going to happen. And I'm sure the penalties prolonged it. But in my opinion, just looking at it, I mean, face value, sure, these penalties definitely gave them more chances and advantages. I understand that. Definitely there were bad calls made. I'm not getting rid of that at all. It was kind of crazy how the refs kind of were a little unbalanced in this game. It was more or less we saw them let the players play, but then in certain situations where a penalty must be called, there was no flag. And of course, the prime example front and center is that T. Higgins touchdown in which Jalen Ramsey's face mask was clearly getting pulled. But
I feel those other 2 calls, though, like, I think there is a case that the Bengals could have stopped them because when you look at that first holding call over the middle of Cooper Kupp on whoever the linebacker was, you know, that's a 50-50 call right there. There wasn't a whole much of a tug. There was kind of a tug and some of it a hold, but I think it was mostly a good play, and it wouldn't have been controversial if there wasn't a flag.
Yeah.
But the following play, the Bengals had the pass interference penalty in the end zone, which put the ball at the 1-yard line. But I think going back to that first flag, the holding on Cooper Kupp, that was on 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. If they don't call that, it's 4th and goal. And the Rams had what? I think they had all 3 timeouts. But the Bengals would have had a chance to stop them on 4th and goal from the 8. 4th and 8 and goal to go is tough for any team.
They would have just thrown it to Eli Apple. They would have been fine.
I mean, that would have been how it was drawn up for sure.
An absolute nobody. Nah, Eli Apple's still pretty solid.
But I think the call. I don't have a problem with the holding call, but I think that if it wasn't made, the Bengals probably would have won the game. But one thing we didn't a flag.
What down was that when it was called though?
It was 3rd down and goal, dude. That's what I'm saying from the 8.
I didn't realize it was 3rd.
Flag we haven't talked about yet. Rams up 13-10. Matt Stafford throws a pick end of the first half in the end zone. Vernon Hargreaves on the bench in his street clothes runs onto the field and backs up the Bengals from their own 20 to their own 10.
Such an idiot.
Or 20. I think it was 25 to their own.
That was the 20. That was the stupidest thing I ever saw. Was a guy without pads go running onto the field to celebrate an INT. Like
the Bengals could have tied the game on that drive with a minute left in the half and a couple of timeouts.
Yeah, if that was the end of the game, go and run on the field. But like, really, bro, we're in play still. Like, come on, the game is live.
He was just too ready for the halftime show, man. He was
right. You see, the kicker for the Bengals actually stayed out on the field to watch the halftime show.
Really? I didn't know McPherson did that.
McPherson was getting lit. You didn't see that?
McPherson's kind of a baller, man.
He is.
That dude's legit.
I mean, after the division round win, his jersey sold out.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I like McPherson because he was getting memed after the Packers game when he did like the look away after hitting what he thought was the game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
Now he's just done so much cool stuff since. He's kind of just like the man.
Have you seen the bottle cap trick he did in college?
Yeah.
That is that. I don't know if that's like a legit video. I got to imagine that it's kind of fake. If it is real, that is so crazy. Have you seen
what's this video?
Look up Evan McPherson water bottle cap, University of Florida.
They don't even.
Oh boy.
There's a water bottle on. It looks like the field goal post, but if it is, it's on the top of the post because it's a good 50 feet in the air at least.
I'm gonna pull this up on here and show it to the audience. That'd be even better, honestly.
Once you see what happens, you realize it's like a TikTok trend, or it wasn't. You know when quarantine started and everybody was trying to get
bottle
little
kick.
tricks?
There it is. Okay, I think I found it. Yeah, this is definitely it. Okay, hold on. Let me screen share this.
You haven't seen this yet.
It was one take too. No, I don't know if it was really one take. It probably wasn't.
All right, here we go.
Imagine.
Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So that's him kicking at the 25-yard line.
What?
Yeah.
I need to see that again.
The Chet live reaction.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. That was unbelievable.
Chet watching a YouTube short 2022.
Hey, I mean, that's what came up when I looked it up. That's crazy if that's actually real. I mean,
it seems like a legit video. I think it is. But like
really
it probably took him 7 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he was trying to just kick the Gatorade bottle and just so happened to unscrew the cap, maybe. I don't know.
Either way, McPherson's pretty cool. That was the point of the story.
We haven't really talked about Burrow. You know, Burrow in this game, 200
definitely
one touchdown, no picks. And
no picks was crazy. I can't believe he didn't throw a pick.
He had a valiant effort. Is Burrow getting back to this game? You know, this AFC's stacked. You got Mahomes, obviously. You got Josh Allen. You got
Lamar The Ravens Jackson will be back next year.
You got, even Mac Jones, maybe, Mac Jones.
And who?
You got
Aaron
the
Rodgers
Baltimore
goes to the
Ravens.
Broncos.
Maybe Aaron Rodgers.
Baltimore Ravens still with Lamar Jackson
Ravens,
at the helm.
Obviously. So
I
when
mean,
you look at this Bengals
Chargers.
team, my roommates the last couple of days were calling, and Justin Herbert, roommates these last couple of days were calling this Bengals Super Bowl run a fluky, fluke team, 4 seed, 10
I don't know
and
if
7.
it was a fluke. You see this just about every 2 years, if not more. There's always one team that has a Cinderella story.
Yeah.
Like the Eagles in 2017.
Yep.
I think it's pretty close to the
Still
Bengals,
number
except
one
their
seed,
defensive
though.
line is a little better.
Yeah.
But you see this every couple years. I think that Joe Burrow is going to consistently be a top quarterback, at least in the media's perspective, for sure. I don't know if the Bengals are going to go back to the Super Bowl soon. I think it's probably going to be a couple years. The AFC's too strong, too deep, and they have too many holes. And once you have the tape that everybody's going to watch for next year, and you're just going to figure out that you just have to blitz Burrow every play. They're not going to be able to keep Boyd, Uzomah, and Higgins in a couple years. They're going to lose a weapon. So I think the Bengals have the good quarterback, but they're not going to be able to make it back here anytime soon.
So, my thoughts here are they going to go back right away? Probably not. I mean, you look at what we have on our plate in the AFC. You had the Buffalo Bills. You had the Kansas City Chiefs. The Ravens were all banged up this year. I'm sure once they're back to full strength next year, they're going to be a team to look out for because, I mean, we talked about them for so long, middle of the season. They were the top seed and suddenly lose the last 5 games of the year and you're out. That's just the way things roll. The injury bug hits at least one team completely for the whole season. Then the Chargers. I'm sure the Chargers will improve because Justin Herbert has proven in all the years he's been there now, he's going to be one of the top guys in the NFL. No questions about it. And then, I mean, the Patriots, if Mac Jones can continue the consistency we see here in his rookie season, I'm sure the Patriots will be in the conversation as well. For the Bengals, this was the first year that we got to see Joe Burrow be Joe Burrow and bring them to the heights he did. And they were spectacular because, I mean, this is his first complete season as a quarterback. And in this game, he had some missed throws here and there. And then, I mean, he did kind of turn it up. But, like, for the most part, I mean, Burrow played well, but he definitely could have played a lot better, in my opinion. I think he did leave a lot out there in certain moments of this game.
Yeah.
And not in bad ways.
Sure.
Like, they were close, but I think a huge problem with it was that hit, that last sack that he took.
I thought he was seriously injured, bro.
Yeah.
I did too.
He was in grueling pain. And then the rest of that game, the Bengals were running the ball. Draw play after draw play. they couldn't get anything moving. You could even tell when Burrow would step back and throw the ball that he was really favoring that leg a lot. Like there was definitely, I think if Burrow didn't get injured, potentially we could have seen the Bengals take the lead even further than what they had. They probably could have gone up by 2.
I don't really necessarily agree with that because,
But basically, to kind of finish my point before you jump in there.
Sorry, my bad.
They'll be back, but not yet.
Damn, Duffy! Wow.
Come on, bro. I didn't finish.
But
continue.
The Bengals were just slow. They were just slow that second half. They were just outmatched after they scored to go up 7. And, Burrow getting injured, that was probably with 9 minutes left in the game. It was sometime in the fourth quarter. I know that. I was pretty smizzed, so I don't really remember. But,
me and all my buddies played who's the backup quarterback of the Bengals. Took us 5 minutes.
Is it Brandon Allen?
Finley? Is it Brandon Allen?
It is Brandon Allen. It has to be.
Yeah, and then, the Bengals be back? I agree with Zach. I don't think they'll be back for at least a couple of years. It won't be next year for sure. I honestly think the Chiefs are due for a ring next year, or the Bills, because when you think about it, the Chiefs should have way more than 1 ring right now.
They better not be.
They should have at least 2.
No, don't even say that. Don't even say that. Don't make it living. Don't let it live.
Going back to 2018 when they hosted 4 straight AFC championships, and they've probably been the favorite to a Super Bowl in all 4 of those occasions in the final 4 teams. They should have more than 1 ring, But maybe Mahomes is the next Rodgers. We don't know. Maybe he's just going to choke the rest of his career.
I was just going to say that. Maybe
wow.
The next
I think Mahomes is too good for that.
Now that I like that thought right there. Let's let that one, marinate a little bit in people's minds there. I like that.
Yeah, you think Mahomes has the next Rodgers?
I'm not saying, but I'm saying I like the thought of it.
I like the thought of it too. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love the thought of it.
But I think players don't really follow the same trend as the other sometimes. I really think each individual player has their own story to tell. Aaron Rodgers told his story. Tom Brady told his. Peyton Manning told his. We've seen a lot of different quarterbacks come into this league, and some win a lot, and some win just a few. But they've all made their piece, and I'm sure Patrick Mahomes is going to be one of the most famous quarterbacks in NFL history. And then for Joe Burrow, I guess to kind of put this to bed on Joe Burrow before we hop into Matt Stafford is we haven't seen the end of him. But if you're expecting the Bengals to go to the postseason next year, they're either going to have to bring a lot of good talent to this team to really sustain another run like this, or they're just going to have to wait their turn again and really
they're definitely need to upgrade it to their positions.
Yeah. Right now, who wins the AFC North next year? Ravens, Bengals, or Browns? It's not going to be the Steelers. It's not going to be the Steelers.
Russell Wilson, baby.
Whoever becomes the quarterback of Pittsburgh may change my mind, but as of right now, I'm going to give it to Baltimore.
I'm going to give it to Baltimore too. I'm going to give it to Cincy because the Cincy team, we can't undermine them beating the Ravens twice this year and beat them big both times.
Yeah,
and we don't really know what either teams are going to do yet in free agency.
Right.
But I think, with the way that Cincy's feeling right now, going to the Super Bowl, winning a lot of games in a row until they lost the Super Bowl, I think they're going to keep that streak going next year. I think I like Joe Cool. I think he's the best quarterback in the division now. I'm going to be honest.
Better than Lamar?
I know Lamar is an MVP, and that's hella blasphemous. That's something I would never say.
He's a better thrower than Lamar. I will give you that.
The thing with Lamar Jackson is he's going to his style of play is not durable. Burrows is, and Lamar Jackson is predictable. He's going to fly out soon.
I don't know if you could say that.
Not to the point where he's chips or mid or anything to where he sucks, but he's going to be a solid player. He's not going to win MVP again, Lamar Jackson. I don't think he will.
I agree with you.
Again?
I don't think he will either.
No, I don't think he will. I I think his season he had in 2018 is the best season he's ever going to have in the NFL.
Okay.
He had 36 touchdowns and threw the ball like 20 times per game.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
that's true.
And everybody's watched the tape and they know they're going for the RPOs. And that's become such a big part of every team that is the Ravens are going to be good. But if you think Lamar Jackson's going to have another MVP season like that, no, it's not going to happen. What I was just going to say real quick before we move on, though, I don't know if I would say Joe Burrow is more durable than Lamar. Joe Burrow's already tore his ACL. We just saw him sprain his ACL in the Super Bowl, and Lamar hasn't gotten hurt. You know, I get the play style's different.
Was he the last 6 games?
Who, Lamar?
He was hurt. Remember, Huntley was in.
Oh, shit. Did he get hurt? He did.
Yeah, he did. I forget what he injured. I think it was like
the Browns.
The Ravens were such a team you didn't even think about this year.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Mid-season, they were my Super Bowl pick to go there.
What was his injury? Do you know?
It was shoulder, I think.
I
know it was against Cleveland on the road. It was a game they lost to Cleveland.
Let me see
Huntley, that was such a good story. I remember that dude. Looked like RG3's second coming.
Let me see.
Tyler Huntley
suffered an ankle injury after being hit by Jeremiah Owuzi-Karamoah in the first quarter. Was ruled out.
You Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Me too. I just read that sentence.
Yeah, he had an ankle injury. So I'm sure Baltimore will likely. I mean, Baltimore and Cincy are going to be the 2 teams duking it out really in the AFC North. I'm sure we're going to see a good fight from them next year. It's what the league wants.
On the Browns,
but the Browns
can't do it.
We'll see. I don't know. They have a lot to prove to me after this season.
Browns are a team that won some big games, big divisional games down the stretch.
Yeah.
And you look at that division this year. You know, first place were the Bengals 10-7, fourth were the Ravens 8-9. 2 games separating that entire division. And with Big Ben retiring next year, the Steelers are going to plummet to last place unless they get a solid quarterback. Probably won't, in the first year in this new era. Yeah. So I think it's between all 3 of those teams because the Browns have a really solid running game, really good head coach, Kevin Stefanski, solid defense, and good receiving core. The only thing that's in question is how Baker Mayfield can do.
Mm-hmm.
And, when he's good, he's good. And we've seen it in the past. We saw it last year. We saw it in his rookie year too. And then going into year 5, this is a contract year for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to have to be great if he wants to stay in Cleveland.
Yeah, he's got to prove it.
Also, I just talk where it's like, should the Browns get rid of Baker? But it's like he's the best quarterback they've had.
No, do not get rid of Baker Mayfield. Keep him.
Knowing the Browns,
this year.
Knowing the Browns, they probably would, dude.
They shouldn't because he was hurt this year. And the fact that I was really pissed off when I saw that the organization was unhappy with him and was considering trading him. Like, what do you want him to do? Like, really? You gave away Odell. He's hurt. Literally everybody on the team sucks for some reason now. And it's just like, what do you want him to do? It's just a perfect storm in Cleveland this past year. And it's like, I mean, you can't expect a guy whose shoulder is injured to take you towards a playoff run. Like, he played with that injury that he sustained mid-season and just kept going, and it sucked as a result. It's like
people have such short-term memories, though. Like, they were in the AFC Championship last year, and then you want to get rid of this guy. I get that he's.
It's like they have
it was
amnesia
Cleveland,
over
Kansas
there.
City last year.
Divisional.
Oh my God.
Was
Kansas
it
City?
Oh,
Kansas
it was
Buffalo.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got me a little bit nervous.
The divisional round, because that's when Matt Moore was starting.
That's when it's not when Matt Moore was starting. It's when the Browns couldn't beat Chad Henne when Mahomes got the concussion.
Chad Henne was the quarterback that game?
Mahomes was sliding in the third quarter, got hit in the head, concussion. Then Chad Henne came in the third quarter and beat the Browns.
That was Chad Henne.
Right. And he wasn't supposed to play the next week because of concussion protocol, but the NFL said, nah, Pat Mahomes, it's Pat Mahomes.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, how did he even come back the next week? So
You're not supposed to be able to be evaluated for 10 days, but after 4 days, he's fine.
Yeah,
he's just a special case where his brain heals. His brain heals faster than the average human being.
I think me and Chet's first show ever of Unapologetic was that week leading up to the NFC championships, and we talked about
It might have been. We'll have to go look back in the archives and find out.
I don't know. That was a unlocked memory. I don't know how the hell they let him play in that game. I don't know why they let him play Pat Mahomes, but
yeah,
crazy that he actually did.
All right, so we've talked Joe Burrow, but now we got to talk about the victor. The man, the myth, the legend, came from Detroit, the Motor City, did his dues there.
Okay.
When it was on 3 playoffs runs there, lost all of them. His first year traded here. We played the video last week. I don't really feel like playing it this week, but honestly, guys, what do you think? Do you want to look back once again on this video I made of all the news coverage when the trade happened for Jared Goff and Matt Stafford? We up for that or no?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not?
I didn't get to see it, so yeah, I'm down.
All right. So this was a video I made last year for this trade, for our talk about it. And now Matt Stafford, a Super Bowl champion. But let's hear what these guys had to say once again. We played the video last week, but we're going to play it again right now.
And we begin with breaking news. Many reports tonight that the deal is done. Matthew Stafford traded, and he's headed to sunny California.
Detroit Lions, once they got all that compensation in return, keep in mind they get back the former #1 overall pick Jared Goff. They get 2 future first-round picks, a 3rd-round draft pick, a lot of picks for Matthew Stafford, who they were going to trade anyway. It worked on all ends for all sides, and they agreed to the deal, which cannot be processed until the new league year begins in the middle of March. Josh.
Is this a good or bad trade for the Rams?
It's a bad trade for the Rams. Let me be very clear. Stafford makes them better right now. He's better than Goff. I'm not claiming Stafford's not better than Goff. Stephen A., I'll leave that to you.
Matthew Stafford, he was the first ball to drop, and then all of a sudden you see the Jared Goff move. I didn't anticipate. I mean, it's just hard to see how that happened.
But it was a steep price to pay. This goes to show you just how unhappy the Rams were with Jared Goff. If they're willing to take the highest dead cap hit in NFL history, $22 million, they were willing to give up 2 first-rounders. Now they go 7 years without a first-round draft pick.
We got to win a Super Bowl, what, in the next 2 years? Or it's a disaster.
I mean, that's one of those bets that it better pay off, man. You've got to at least get to the Super Bowl at some point in Stafford's career as a Ram.
And this is a guy that's an offensive-minded coach, and he's telling you he needs a quarterback. And I got a guy, Matthew Stafford, albeit injury-prone, but who's only 32 years of age and clearly better than Jared Goff, then I got to pay attention to that.
They gave up too much to get him.
So there it is. I mean, a lot of mixed thoughts on the whole thing, but we see it pays off.
It was worth it. It was worth it.
Matt Stafford, 26 for 40, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, had 2 picks in the effort, but regardless, the final score of that game, 23-20 in Super Bowl 56. Cooper Kupp named Super Bowl MVP, and the Rams hoisted their 2nd Lombardi trophy in franchise history, and Matt Stafford finally got that goddamn monkey off his back that's been on his back for so long. And guys, honestly, I had nothing but pure happiness for the guy. I think he really deserved something like this after suffering on a forgotten franchise for so many years.
Yeah, it's great for Matt Stafford, his legacy. You know, we've seen him throw for nearly 50,000 yards, which is a great mark for any quarterback in their career. He's going to have to be a 400 touchdown quarterback when he retires. So this Super Bowl means a lot to his legacy, because before this, he was definitely a fringe Hall of Fame quarterback, and now he's like, you know, he's really fringe.
He's knocking on the door at this point.
Richard Sherman comments this week, you know, for him. But you know, I'm excited. I'm happy for the guy. He deserves it. You know, played 13 years in Detroit. I think they should have done something in Detroit. I don't think it's all the organization in Detroit back then. I think Stafford too was an underachiever himself on the Lions. I'm not going to say it's all the people want to say it's all the organization, but Stafford was objectively an underachiever in Detroit.
I mean, like, what could he do though? What could you do?
I mean, he could have not thrown 15 picks a year.
Yeah, he could have.
To be honest, I'm a huge Stafford fan, but he did. He threw picks all the time. Granted, that was because they were always down, and he was throwing picks in the 4th quarter.
Yeah,
he had Calvin Johnson and Golden Tate. You know,
which he did get on a playoff run with.
Everybody always forgets Reggie Bush too.
Reggie Bush was great there,
one and done
honestly.
playoff runs now.
But I mean, we'll take you through it. I mean, kind of looking through this postseason, Matt Stafford just looked in every matchup that he went to. He just looked the opposing team right in the face and just took them on head on. We saw it right away with the Cardinals with that 34-11 victory, and then we saw it again the next week with that 30-27 win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being led by Tom Brady. And then following the third game, you've lost to the Niners twice this year. All odds are against you. People are putting their money on the Niners in this one, but the Rams had other ideas, winning that game 20-17. And then in this Super Bowl, 23-20. Stafford was just in the zone for most of this game. He did have hiccups here and there. We can't say he was perfect. 2 interceptions on the stat line for him there. However, he made up for it on the moment when it mattered and got them into a position to win that game.
He did.
I kind of got a hot take, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
I feel like the Rams could have got there with Jared Goff. Like, not to discredit Matt Stafford or anything, because Matt Stafford is, in my opinion, a Hall of Fame quarterback. I don't think it's fringe anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has one of the best arm talents that we've ever seen, like top 10 in the league. And I think he was Dan Marino reincarnated before he just won the Super Bowl with the arm talent, not winning rings, bad organization, whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, he threw the most interceptions this year. He had Cooper Kupp, the best receiver we've seen in the last, 25 years since Jerry Rice. He had the best season maybe ever. He has Sean McVay, which is a really good offensive line mind. He has a really good O-line and a defense that helps him win every game. Like, the Rams are stacked in every imaginable level, and Stafford helped. He is better than Goff, but I think that Goff could have gotten there too. I'm just saying, Goff got a bad rap, man. As soon as he got traded to the Lions, he got a bad rap. He's not terrible.
I think he got a bad rap, and it was confirmed by what happened afterwards. With Goff going 2 or 3, 13-1 in Detroit, and Stafford winning a Super Bowl. I agree. At first, I was Jared Goff stan the last couple of years. I say he's not that bad. He's a good quarterback, and he's better than just the system. But this past year, I don't even know how I can defend those claims.
Look at the offense that Goff had.
Yeah. Could you sit here confidently, though, and say that Matthew Stafford would have done any better if he was on the Lions?
He might have won a game or two better.
He would have won more than 3 games. They went 3.
Okay, he would have won 4. Is that big a difference?
And they lost a lot of those games by 1 possession. That Lions team was gritty. They were in a lot of those football games, if you remember the season. Stafford could have won probably 7 of them.
I think their 3 wins were all against playoff teams, too.
Arizona, Minnesota, and not Minnesota, but Arizona. Minnesota was one of them, but they're not a playoff team.
I think they beat Green Bay in the last game of the year.
Yeah, and then they tied with Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, a playoff team.
Yeah, they did.
But dude, you think Jared Goff could have went?
I think if Jared Goff goes to the Buccaneers, the Buccaneers go back to the Super Bowl.
And you think he could have won that game on the road, divisional round? No. He wouldn't have.
Dude, Brady scored 3 points in the first half. I don't think that had anything to do with Matt Stafford. I'm not saying Matt Stafford
that was their
really
defense.
Good.
Very
Matt
true.
Stafford is an elite quarterback, and I'm so happy he won. And I do think that he is. I'll say he's way better than Goff, but Goff's still good, and Goff still makes it with the team around him. That's the point that I was making.
Also, Zach, I did see you text me about that photographer fall. And I want to show that real quick because that
was such a bad look.
God, dude.
That's funny. Let me screen share.
I just feel bad for Stafford because that's it goes back to how Brady was last year's Super Bowl parade.
This is an ad, so 1 second.
There was Stafford and his wife are paying for the hospital costs for her. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh. That's such a bad look for Stafford.
It is.
And she is okay. She is all right. She's in the hospital now. She suffered, I want to say, a broken ankle, and she actually dropped her 2 cameras she had, and they broke. Damn. But she is good, and Stafford family's paying for medical expenses for her.
You see, Stafford was cocked at the parade.
He was gone.
I didn't get to watch any of that. I'll have to go back.
He was just too drunk to realize what happened.
Right. Brady even tweeted at him. Remember how Brady was last year with the boat parades? Yeah. He said, mix in water with it. Trust me.
Mix in water and that.
Yeah, these guys are like superstar athletes. Like all that alcohol is just going to go right through them.
That's be a new tradition, dude. The winning quarterback just gets cocked at the parade.
It's obliterated. I can't blame him, though. Stafford's 33 winning his first Super Bowl. I would have been gone by like 8 in the morning.
Yeah, honestly. Like, why not? Go off. Please. But, I mean, I'm trying to remember the mistakes that Stafford made in that game in the Super Bowl. Like, those 2 picks. I'm trying to remember, really.
The second pick, or actually, whichever one was right at the beginning of the second half.
Because one of them was bad, right?
First one was bad.
Yeah, the one at the beginning of the second half.
Was a bad throw. It was underthrown.
He had a couple underthrown balls.
Second half one was just a tip ball, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Zach texted me after the Super Bowl about how much cheddar I won. I won a lot of cheddar. 16 units up on the Super Bowl. One of my bets, Matt Stafford over 11.5 incompletions. It hit. So he had 14 incompletions. First half he wasn't looking that great. In the second quarter, at least. First quarter he was awesome through 2 touchdowns. Started 8 for 9. It started really slow things down. Punting a lot. Bengals defense played like they did against KC to begin that second half, like they did against the Rams in the Super Bowl. Their defense got some pivotal stops. But Matt Stafford, though, I wouldn't say he made any, big mistake. Because that second pick wasn't really his fault. That first pick didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Which is really why I think that he should have won the Super Bowl MVP. 3 touchdowns, and he orchestrated a 15-play drive to win the game.
Cooper Kupp was the team's
Kupp didn't have 100 yards.
Cooper Kupp. I mean, Cooper Kupp finished the day
2 touchdowns,
8 catches, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns. But I think the reason why Cooper Kupp was given that MVP is because, I mean, look at the plays he made at the end of that game.
That no-look pass Stafford made.
Like, look at those.
That no-look pass was pretty ridiculous. I did see that,
dude. I just remember watching Cooper Kupp running those routes and catching some insane passes at the end of this game, and I was just like, dude, this guy. I love Cooper Kupp. Like, he's just unbelievable. I've never seen a guy. I literally have said this to this day. I have never seen a guy run a route like him. It is just unbelievable. It's like watching somebody. It's like painting a canvas, dude.
That is a pretty big claim. I'll give you that.
This season in particular, with Sean McVay, it would be over. It would have been over.
Yeah, Antonio Brown was up there.
Over.
Yeah.
You got young guys right now too, like Calvin Ridley. He didn't play much this year, but that dude's slant and his in and out cross is pretty ridiculous too.
Oh yeah.
Cooper Kupp. He's got that Hunter Renfrow mindset. Like he is the slot receiver in the NFL right now.
Was that just like a white
guy? He's a combat.
I guess not. Well, if you want to throw in Julian Edelman, he has the same criteria.
He's like Edelman.
He is literally
those 5'10" white dudes in the slot.
Yeah,
they know how to run a slant.
Literally, they're gritty, they're blue collar.
He's a trio combination of Hunter Renfrow, Cole Beasley, and Julian Edelman, all in the perfect combination. That's what it is right there.
With a mix of Amendola.
Yeah. All these white guys coming together. Yes. Making the perfect white receiver right here. Here we go.
Amendola is so overrated.
Just a sprinkle. Wes Welker.
I do like what you said, though. Antonio Brown on a McVay offense.
Would have been game
that
over.
Would be
scary.
That would be so scary.
That would be scary.
Robert Woods coming back next year. People don't even talk about that. He was out for the entire year.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I saw him celebrating with the team, like, after they won. Like, he was out there, and, whatever he was in, like, the jumpsuit or whatever. Like, but,
He didn't go and celebrate an interception mid-game.
Yeah, he didn't do that like an idiot. Looking at this one and kind of, like, bringing it back to what we brought back with the Bengals. For the Rams, you get the Super Bowl win finally. You finally get it. Can we see this team coming back to the Super Bowl next year, potentially?
Yes.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is that Ooh, sorry, my Wi-Fi's down. You go.
Zach, friend, go.
You got the green light. You got the green light.
Okay. With Aaron Rodgers down and probably not coming back to the Packers, with Tom Brady gone from the Buccaneers, I think the Rams are clearly the favorite. I like the 49ers. I think as long as Russ is in Seattle, they're always contenders if they can build their defense. But the Rams are really, really strong. If Aaron Donald retires, that's going to hurt them, but I don't even think it hurts them that much. I think the team's built so well. They have some cap problems that they're going to have to figure out this offseason, mainly with people like Odell and Von Miller, even though Odell might not even get signed because of his injury. But I think either way, that team is going to be back. And I think even though that division is super strong with Kyler Murray and, I'm blanking on it. That's Russ.
Seattle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude in Seattle.
And I don't like San Francisco with Trey Lance. I don't think that's going to work out. So I think the Rams are going to have maybe even a 1 seed again next year. And I think
take note, Will Reyes.
I think, dude, yeah, I was excited for Trey Lance, but I agree with Zach. I mean, I think this Rams team is the clear-cut favorite in the NFC next year, especially how thin the conference is going to look next season.
Yeah,
the Bucs, uncertainty at quarterback. The Packers too, also uncertainty at quarterback, and with Devontae Adams. And with Russell Wilson in Seattle, I mean, we don't know if he's going to stay there either. So
yeah, and it kind of
the Rams are the only team really.
Yeah.
Could the Cowboys make a Super Bowl?
No, I was just going to bring that up.
I was going to say the only real threat.
They won't.
The only real threat is Dallas, and they're not a team that's built to win the Super Bowl or win the NFC. The Rams are built to win the NFC. They can do as long as they have McVay and this squad, and if this team is assembled next year, I think they're the clear-cut favorites to win the conference. And Aaron Donald is not retiring; he just wants some more cheddar because he deserves it. He's the best defensive player ever. Not named LT. Not named LT. He's the best defensive player of all time. Top 10 football player ever.
Aaron Donald needs to stay in this league. I will literally just I don't know.
I'm not even a fan of him because he's kind of a dick.
Don't retire.
The game's not the same without a guy like Aaron Donald. He's a once-in-a-lifetime player.
Dude, you should have seen. Like, I watched this block. Well, this block he shed, I think, to go sack Burrow. The guard literally stood him up, and he just took the guard and just went, and then just went in and grabbed Burrow. Like, it was unbelievable. I have never seen a lineman just command where he wants the others to go who are blocking him. He just can finesse his way through in such a way that I've never seen a defensive lineman play like him. And, like, it would suck to see him retire. I think if he were to just retire today, he would go down as one of the greatest defensive linemen to ever play the game and definitely be in Canton.
He's the best D tackle ever. I'll tell you that.
Hands down. It's just
three defensive
I would hate for him to leave, dude. He's still got so much I feel he could bring.
He does. He has a lot of
And
gas.
when you think about how undersized he is, he's a 4'3" D lineman. Those guys are usually about 6'3", 300 pounds, and he's like 6 foot 280, 285 maybe.
And he's ripped.
He's 6'1", 284.
Ridiculously ripped.
You see him with his shirt off?
He's literally an inch taller than me, bro. Like, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, you're a tall guy, huh, Chris?
I'm just saying. I'm 6 feet, bro.
You could block Aaron Donald a couple times.
No, I'd probably tear my ACL.
He give you that swim move, you throw him over. Yep.
I would pray for
I'd throw him over.
Aaron Donald.
Just get a nice chop block. Take his legs out. You'd be able to get him. He's fine.
Yeah, let's call out Aaron Donald right here. Aaron Donald, I can block you. I can block you. I'll say it right now. I can block Aaron Donald.
Yeah, we got to get this guy for the next event.
Yeah, we got to get Aaron Donald.
Go up against Aaron Donald.
Dude, imagine we get
so great.
We get a video on turf of me trying to block Aaron Donald. That'd be amazing. That'd probably make my day.
We had that. Chet tries to block Aaron Donald.
I think I got it too.
Zach, you remember I was in your Don Coyne winter class last year? Com 204.
What the? Yeah? What the fuck? I remember that class. I don't remember.
I was in your class.
I don't know if I remember.
I think you remembered me, but I was
Zach
there.
and I were also in the same class together.
That was like the week I joined Fans Only, and you came in. You were like,
yeah.
Hey, we always were always looking for interns at Sports Fan Base Rhode Island. And
shit. I don't remember my last year of URI. There was too much extracurriculars going on.
Shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
saying that reminded me of when Don Coyne showed us that video of him going in the net at the dunk, taking some slap shots as a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Dude, do you remember Mary's class?
Oh,
that short
yes,
film?
I do remember Mary's class. That sports broadcasting class was fucking hilarious, though. But yeah, I remember the film.
I wish I was in more of those. I wish I was in more of those sports media classes. I mean, I kind of just took it up under myself for it. I was more concentrated in film at the time, more so than now, at least.
So it was pretty cool that the amount of guest speakers we had. That was the best part of that class. There was a bunch of actual ESPN broadcasters.
I had to call a game with Jack O'Mara for URI Hockey. He came to our class. So we were talking about Coyne. He was like, "Oh, you had Coyne? I must came to your class." I was like, "Dude, what's your last name?" He goes, "I'm Jack O'Mara." I was like, "Oh my god, dude, I remember you." I actually slept through that entire WebEx meeting. I didn't go to that class.
Oh, I slept in so many of them.
I remember.
I'm pretty sure I BS'd.
Remember our boy from Minnesota in that class, Reed?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. It's such like a northern, forest accent.
One more. I got two more final questions here for this part of the show. First, it's just about the halftime show. What do we think about the halftime show?
Kendrick didn't get as much love as he should have.
Thank you,
Wait,
Zach.
What did you say, Zach?
Kendrick didn't get much love.
Kendrick got to sing All Right. That was it. I mean, Eminem didn't either. He sang like half of Lose Yourself,
he sang,
and that was
it. Love Yourself. Lose
Love Yourself.
That was Justin Bieber for a sec.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean,
Snoop Dogg was smoking on the stage.
I like it. I wish they all kind of sang a song together. You know?
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool, honestly. Or if
they only sang one popular songs of their each, but I don't think any of those people's fans wouldn't have wanted that.
What do we think of 50 Cent? What do we think of 50 Cent hanging from the ceiling, bro? That was kind of excuse me.
50 cents $1 now. That man got
got
a little bit of
that was a great meme, dude, when that came out.
My boy saying inflation got up to 75 cents.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to admit, 50 Cent, you did gain some pounds down there. I'll give him that. But I mean,
I would too if I was worth $100 million. To be fair, I wouldn't give a shit either.
But another opinion about that was, I think Eminem also got slighted a bit. He literally only got one song, like you said, and then he just said the same thing he says over and over again and forget about Dre. You know?
Hey,
screw
him.
Another huge part about it. Another huge thing was that these guys are from Inglewood and they're from Compton, which is literally 20 miles away from the stadium. So to give them the spotlight, to give Dre, I'm pretty sure Snoop, I know Kendrick's from Compton, that was probably bigger for them too, which I think was really cool for them to show out there.
Yeah.
I thought the whole halftime show was pretty sweet. I loved the Impalas in the front. I liked all the choreographed dancers. I bet the under for the time of the halftime show, and I hit that, so I was very happy with the halftime show.
What was the under? How long did the show?
21 minutes, and the halftime show was 16. It wasn't even close. I was so happy.
21.
They only sang one song each. I didn't have that line on my book. I wish I did.
I went to the Bovada Las Vegas website and put a bunch of dumb props in.
OBJ saved your night.
OBJ taking the under 48.5, and then I got a couple prop bets. I got what was it? The Rams winning the coin toss. I got that halftime show under, and then I got both teams getting a field goal over 35 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, my boy wanted me to get that for him, but I didn't have it on my book.
All right, so I actually am going to sprinkle in one more question. What was our favorite Super Bowl ad?
Dude, I don't remember.
I don't really watch the commercials.
I don't watch.
I love the commercials,
I watch
dude.
The game, but my favorite ad, though.
When I watch the Super Bowl, I take in everything that's going on, even the ads.
That's because you're Chet. You like all that type of shit. I like the game.
If I wasn't watching the game, I was running the pong table all night. I got to be honest with you. I was not paying the commercials.
I was kind of in a family friend setting, so it's I couldn't really get belligerent.
I would have said.
But my favorite ad. What's
Sorry.
that?
I was gonna say my favorite ad was the LeBron James and his younger self, the crypto one.
That was an interesting one.
That was sick.
Oh, there was one commercial with like a bunch of like small ass NFL players running playing flag football
That was
through the
so
house.
funny.
Yeah,
that
one
was
I
so
saw.
funny.
That was
It
pretty
was
cool.
awesome. That was the NFL's promotion this year. That was awesome.
I think my personal favorite was the Sopranos Chevrolet commercial one, where they basically I don't know. You guys probably haven't seen the Sopranos.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
not
seen
sure.
Sopranos.
Okay, I don't know if you saw it. They basically reshot the whole intro from the show and had Meadow driving the truck instead, and it was an electric Chevy, and it was saying. Yeah, it's really good. It's like a 50-second ad. I thought it was great. One of the
you were
funniest.
say they stopped at mid-sentence or something.
No, yeah, that would have been funny. Yeah. That would have been pretty funny.
Would have been pretty funny.
Yeah. You have to watch the show to know what he means.
If you know, you know.
Don't stop. Don't stop.
He stopped.
I like the Boondocks better than the Sopranos.
The Boondocks,
dude. That show
is that some old school Adult Swim?
Chet put me on the Boondocks.
Oh my god, I haven't seen
It's a show. You haven't seen it?
No, I have. I haven't seen it in years.
Love that show. That show's so funny. Did you guys hear about the Bitcoin ad though with the QR code?
Yes, dude. Do you see my story, bro? My friend was trying to scan it and it worked.
Yeah, I scanned it and it worked. So it was a $14 million ad, and all it was a QR code that just bounced along the edges of the corners of the screen when it got there. And the website that they set up for this competition crashed the minute the ad aired.
Imagine.
It was crazy.
Of course it did.
It was so funny, honestly, to like hear that after.
$14 million?
Million to have your website.
Did they come out
crash.
with how much each commercial cost yet? They usually do at the end of every Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was like 7, I think.
Yeah, I didn't look into it, but to get your commercial aired during the Super Bowl, I can only imagine.
$7 million for a 30-second spot.
That's ridiculous.
Was that commercial a minute long? It did seem kind of long. That QR
it was pretty
code.
Long, honestly.
It was a minute, probably, right?
Something like that. I guess they wanted so many people to scan that.
That's crazy.
All right. While Zach's looking for that, the final question of the night has to be: Who's coming to the Super Bowl 57 next year? Your two teams. If you had to come up with both on the fly.
Bills, Rams.
Rams, Colts.
Shut the fuck up.
No.
That's a
no,
good one. It took me a second. I kind of was just like, okay, that makes sense.
We might watch the year and be.
I literally just was like, okay, that's a solid answer.
It might be right, dude. Might be right.
No, they're not. They need a quarterback, wide receiver, a couple defenders. I like Rams, Chiefs.
I'm gonna go
Super
Rams.
Easy pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rams, Chiefs. But my secondary option would probably be. Here's an interesting one. Rams, Broncos. If Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver.
Okay, I like it.
Zach hates
it.
Zach
hates it. Fraud, so.
The Broncos need so much more than just a quarterback, though.
I think they definitely need another, like a true wide receiver one, because I like Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, but they're not top dogs.
Yeah, but with Aaron Rodgers, they could be. I was thinking more on their defense. Like you got
Jeudy
Surtain now.
One with a good quarterback for sure. Yeah. So could Sutton, dude. Sutton had like 1,200 yards the other year.
Yeah,
too long.
If I had to have a backup,
Keenum, whatever.
Well, I would say, like if Aaron Rodgers doesn't leave, I still like the Packers next year. I know that they have such a bad rap, and we say it every year, and I even said it this year that they choke in the playoffs, and sure as shit they did. But if he stays, Devontae Adams stays, and I think that whole team is fired up. I love Matt LaFleur. And then in the AFC, my backup might be Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo would definitely be the backup, I think, in my opinion. I think it's either going to be Buffalo or Kansas City going back there. Who knows? Maybe Baltimore can make a case, or Cincy. You never know. There's so much options in the AFC. It feels like the NFC is kind of like just empty at this point, with just one good team really to run it.
Watch for the Chargers next year too. Chargers going to be really good.
Yeah. So too. All right. Well, that does it here on Unapologetic with Chet and Duffy. Zach Drapo, everyone, thank you for coming on the show once again. Be sure to check out every Thursday at 7 p.m. his MMA podcast right here on Fans Only Sports Network. Zach, it's always a privilege to have you here and to have your insight here on the league.
Sorry, I got carried away. Thanks for having me, guys. It's always a pleasure. Good talking shit with you guys.
Of course.
Hopefully I'll be back next couple weeks too.
Of course, we'll definitely have you on the slate to come on board once again. But anyways, this is Chet and Duffy signing off here on Fans Only Sports Network. Check us all out every Thursday night around 7 to 8 p.m. 8 p.m. That's usually our time frame. We kind of just come up with it usually during the week. But around every Thursday, baby. We will see you all next time. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. First weekend without no football. It's going to be depressing. I'll tell you that.
You had to say it.
I had to end the show off like that. But we will have live coverage. Well, live. I shouldn't say live. We will have coverage week to week of the NFL offseason and all the moves we are hearing, because that talk is going to come in very soon. And players, we're going to see who's going to get tagged and who's probably going to end up walking once free agency starts. March quickly approaching, free agency quickly approaching here in the NFL. So until then, this is Chet and Duffy signing off, and we will see you all next time. And as always, go Pats.
Go Pats. Peace.